Hello, good afternoon. It is Monday the 5th of February. Myself and Jack are here. You all right?
Yeah, why?
Yeah, good.
So, I thought,
I'm just asking in general.
Look all right.
Just a general greeting.
No, I'm okay, Baz. Are you all right?
I'm good, mate. I'm good. You know, I'm all right, yeah.
Yeah, good.
Not bad, not bad. How are you feeling about the results on Saturday? I know we'll get into it in more detail in the final word, but just general thoughts about the game.
I feel quite good about it. Not to say the point isn't important and I'm not happy for the point, because it is a big point. But I think overall, going forward, I'm just more impressed with and focused on the attitude shown by the team to fight back from behind, and, you know, on 2 occasions as well, come from behind and equalise and just fight out that point. Because too often with the Everton side, we've seen us have rallies in the first half, have chances that, you know, we arguably should take in the first half and not take them in, you know, go into the second either equal or goal behind, and then just not carry that level of performance into the second half, whether it be, you know, fitness starting to fall off because we're tired, and because, you know, we have the same players playing week in, week out, or, you know, the other team makes tactical adjustments and we don't clock onto that. And, you know, the start of the second half wasn't brilliant. Obviously, Tottenham got the second goal around the hour mark, was it? Richarlison's second.
On from the first half. Come on, Jack. First half.
It's been
both
been
in
a
the
long
first
weekend.
half.
Yeah, sorry, it's been a long weekend.
No, we didn't.
But yeah, okay. So going in behind,
yeah,
and you know, too often we don't adjust to that. Too often we just we had to go. It didn't work. I don't think necessarily for a lack of trying, but, you know, like I say, either the fitness falls off a little bit, or the other team makes tactical adjustment, clocks on to what we're doing well and what's working for us, and adjusts against that. We don't adjust in turn, and I think we did on this occasion. And, you know, we did well, and we kept getting the set pieces, and, you know, we identified something that worked against Tottenham. They've got a decent set piece record, and we identified something that they struggle with. We go, okay, the keeper has to come out for their set piece routine to work. Let's put our biggest player on him. Let's keep him pressed in, and we might have some success there.
Do you think there should be a little bit of variation in Everton's corners, though? Because the second half, when we were putting them under pressure and stuff, Dwight McNeil basically just started dropping crosses into the goalkeeper's hands instead of having a little bit of mix. And I think, you know, go throw a near post one in there every now and again.
Yeah, I do think we need to add more weapons to our arsenal, definitely. But I think that also maybe comes with having other players who can take corners as well. You know, maybe you look at McNeil and go, okay, his speciality is putting it back post, comes back across. And, you know, you got Garner who does this, that, or the other. Okay, if we can just have one other player who can take them, and then you maybe look at in-swingers as well, and out-swing, and from variating corners and identify what works there. But it just comes back to bodies and the lack of, you know, what we've got available to us to make this work. We've got 2 players who are okay enough at set pieces to make it work, and that's what we go with.
Yeah. No, I thought he did well, to be fair. I mean, Spurs are a good side, and I thought Everton were by far the better side in the first half, and then I thought they were the better side in the second half. But we dug in and we got something out of it, and we have to go from there, don't we? You know, the referee was shocking as well, Michael Oliver, but he always is when he has us. What about other results? I mean, we come home and thinking Newcastle, get that done, driving home from the match, and they take the lead early on. I'm like, that'll do us. Nice home win for the Geordies, and then lo and behold, Ross Barkley decides to run the game, and at one stage they're 4-2 up and absolutely smashing it, and Newcastle done well in the end to get a point out of it. Yeah,
they had a good comeback, Newcastle didn't they? And you know, they did rally well, but still you're looking at 4-4 and you go and conceding 4 to lose, and you could have done us a favour there. Maybe just kept it to 2 or 3 and showing that same goal scoring ability. And obviously Burnley as well, nicking a draw late as well. So yeah, it's a weekend where results didn't really go our way, but we've just got to focus on doing our bit. Doing our bit means, getting a decent point against Spurs. Again, going to Man City as well at the weekend. Can we try and get a point against City and just pick up points where the teams around us might not? I think is the important thing, because do we back any of our main 3 other contenders for relegation to pick up points against Tottenham, not necessarily.
Mm-hmm.
So, we've got a point there. Hopefully they won't get anything, and we just got to keep making those little marginal gains and then, win the big games against these teams, beat Luton for once, eventually. And just pick up points directly over them like that, and then just pick up points where we can against the teams who might take more off them.
Well, you look at the home games we've got. We've got Crystal Palace, West Ham, Brentford, Forest, Sheffield United, all at home. Burnley. You look at those games and you go, Everton should win 5 out of them 6 and maybe get a draw with West Ham or beat West Ham. West Ham aren't great either. But there's an opportunity to win some home games there. Away from home, but decent away from home. There'll be defeats along the way because obviously we've got to go. As always, we've got to go the Emirates at the end of the season, which is normal. We're at the Etihad at the weekend, so we'd expect City to win that. There's other games in there, like you just mentioned there, like Luton away, where they've beat us twice this season, so it's a little bit of payback needed. Go there and grind out a result. Bournemouth, I watched them against Forest yesterday. They weren't very good. If they turn in a performance like that, we'll be happy when we play them. And it is those games, they're going to be key fixtures. Can you go and grind out results there? But Everton have had Aston Villa, Fulham away and Spurs, the 3 games in 2024. We haven't lost any of them. Okay, we haven't won any of them, but we haven't lost any of them. And in 2 of the games, we kept clean sheets. So if you're looking for the positives out of it, they're certainly durable, Everton, aren't they? They're certainly sticking to what the manager wants, being tight and compact in most games. I think the last 10 games, Everton have won 4, lost 4 and drew 2. So I guess if they turn in that in the next 10, that'd be another 14 points. That puts us on 33, and then there'd be another 5 or 6 games to knock on, and 1 more win maybe, and that'd probably see them safe.
Yeah, and I think those 3 games that you mentioned, the 3 draws there, what you'd think of as healthy points. It's not a point you'd be too disappointed with. I think Fulham we should have and could have got more from as well, and at Tottenham we had opportunities to do more as well. But the points that you don't scoff at, you go, okay, it's nice to keep ticking over with this because these have this quality of player and he could potentially punish us, especially Villa and Tottenham as well. The 2 teams at the right end of the table, aren't they? So although you can look at those games individually and go, we could have got more from this game itself, just on paper, looking at that quality of team and going, okay, taking a point from them is actually all right. Now, we are getting to the point where we do need a win just because Luton seem to keep picking up points and we just want to stop that gap from forming before it even starts. But in the meantime, if we can't win, draw.
I mean, at the end of the day, we've got to assume that the gap's going to go to 4 points at the weekend because I can't see us getting anything at the Etihad. We have before, we did last season, but I think City... You
wouldn't confidently bet on
it. City have got a huge boost now, haven't they, after yesterday, Liverpool getting beat at Arsenal. City win tonight and then beat Everton at 12:30 on Saturday, the top. So they've got a great opportunity to wipe out that lead that Liverpool have got on them by winning the next 2 games.
It's business time for City.
Exactly what I was going to say. And they have to because Liverpool will bounce back and Arsenal now may well be back in it with that win. Well, they are back in it, so can they maintain it? So for us, that's a tough one, and you'd expect Luton will beat Sheffield United at home, which is who they've got. Then after that, they've got Man United and Villa, which is 2 harder games for them, obviously. So for us, it might, I said this on Saturday in my aftermatch stuff, is that it may get a little bit worse before it starts to get better. These are tough games we've had recently. 2 teams in the top 4. And Fulham away that we don't do brilliantly with, and when you've got injuries like we've got, it's a difficult task, isn't it? But after City, we have got to start picking points. Crystal Palace at home should be 3 points. I know people are flapping that. Ken says Palace will change the manager before playing us, get the new manager bounce and beat us. Why?
I can't see them
twice
changing
already.
the manager.
No, they will, but We've beat them twice already this season. No fear whatsoever about Crystal Palace.
No, and if it will be Steve Cooper as well,
Yeah.
you know, we've beat his Forest team already, you know,
We want it to
pushed
be
them
Cooper
further
because
towards the
that'll
sack.
push them further towards the relegation zone to get him.
Yeah, I mean, I think Cooper's a decent manager, but I think regardless where you look at Palace are right now, they are a team we can drag into it as well. And, you know, I know Luton are the obvious candidates right now because they're the ones who are directly above us in the league table. But they look like they'll keep grinding out points and picking up points as well. We do need to look at what other teams can we drag into this as well.
No, Forest. Forest are
Forest are definitely
Forest
one
are
of them.
poor.
But you've got Palace as well.
Palace are poor. Brentford are poor. They're the
Brentford
teams.
have got Tony back though.
Well, they
I
have,
think
but they're still poor.
They'll be all right though. But I think you
Well,
look at
maybe.
Forest potential points
Yeah, but if
deduction,
Brentford,
like
if
you
City
say.
go and spank Brentford tonight, then that's another defeat for them, despite having Ivan Toney back. So the only one they will have beat then in the last few weeks will have been Forest.
Yeah, they've got a big game player that will
No, they have.
potentially show up in their big
But they have.
fixtures.
Well, hopefully our
But-
big game player will be back at the weekend in Decore. So, you know, I think it's dead easy to. It's like Luton. Everyone's flapping and losing the shit over Luton. Luton are in a great run at the moment. Everton have been on a poor run without winning. There's 1 point in it. Despite Luton being basically Man City, if you listen to some of our fans, when every game they'll do this. The Luton are physically a strong side and well organised.
They've found something that works in a poor bottom half of the league,
The
haven't
whole
they?
league's poor.
No, but especially the bottom
if
half.
you take like the 2/3 of the league at dire, and I include the likes of United, and that's dire.
But what I'm saying is, if you think the whole league's poor, then the bottom end of it's got to be very poor, hasn't
Well, of
it? So you
course.
get a team like Luton who are a bit physical, good at set pieces. They'll do all right, won't
Yeah,
they?
yeah.
Because that's more than a few teams in this league.
And they
have
are
going
having,
for them.
don't get me wrong, they're having huge rub at the green. I mean, now Jacob Murphy hasn't won that for Newcastle at the weekend when it got back to 4-4. They're having every little bit of luck that's going their way, but that's fine. You know what? Everton have had 10 points taken off them, and they're not adrift at the bottom of the league. Tells you everything you need to know about this league.
Yeah, I think in terms of quality, do you think we're a level above the teams around us? I don't think we're great, but you simply look at that 10 points and the fact that, you know, we're still above two of these teams and, you know, we're
Crazy.
breathing down the neck at one of the other ones. I think that speaks for itself.
If
doesn't it?
Everton hadn't had the 10 points, we'd all be saying Europe's an outside possibility. But 6 points off it or something at the minute. Yeah, exactly. But Europe distract us and all
Yeah,
that
we'd
because
be breaking it in talking about Europe
the
and, you know,
Europe
Conference
but
League.
you would
and-
be looking though, wouldn't you? Going them home games. Tell you what, Everton would be right in
we
the
can
mix.
give it a
blah,
go.
blah, blah, blah. I'm saying they get there, but that would be the conversation right now.
That'd be the next logical step up the league
Of
table,
course,
wouldn't it?
and again, like I keep saying, we mightn't have got there. Of course we mightn't, and we probably wouldn't, but we'd at least be going, well, it's not that much of a crazy leap to go. It's 2 wins. Now, that's fine, and that would have been lovely just because it's a different thing than talking about are we going to fall through the trapdoor. But right where we are now, we've got to just go, okay, it is a little bit difficult. You know what I mean? There's a little bit of one of them. It's a case of going, all right, just right now it is a little bit tricky. It's a long season. And who knows, we might well get half the points back. There seems to be a little bit of a feeling that they're going to get points back. So if Everton, just imagine it would they did use the Sheffield Wednesday EFL process, which is a lot of journalists are kind of saying, well, that's the model they're sort of using. Well, on appeal, Sheffield got half the marks, half the points back. So if Everton got, half the points back, it takes them to 24 points above Palace, or level with Palace, above Brentford, above Forest. It drags Fulham into it because they're only 4 points.
Couple of points off Chelsea.
Couple of points off Chelsea, who are absolutely
Which is then what we
woeful.
say about, you do naturally look up the league
Of
at that
course,
point.
and then Luton would be 4 points behind Everton, but there's a lot in there then scrapping. All of a sudden, it's not just it's us all them, and that's what we have to look at it. And then you start going, well, hang on, 24 points. In your mind, you go, 14 more will keep us safe. 38 points would keep us up.
Yeah.
Yeah. So then you go, well, that's 5 wins, does that? 5 wins. So Everton have got 15 games left, is it? 15, isn't it?
Yeah.
So Everton could win 5 and lose 10. 10. Another 10.
and still stay up.
Which is crazy, because that means they'd have lost 20 games of football this season, which would be outrageous. And yet, when you look at the league, Everton have lost the least in the bottom half anyway. So you're looking at that going, okay, well, 5 victories keeps us safe. That's all we have to do. And we've got 6 or 7 home games, and 5 of the teams we should be wiping the floor with anyway.
And we are good away from home.
And away from home, we might nick these points that no one expects. Okay, you'd look at, like I said, City and Arsenal like that. You'd almost write them off. You don't have to, but you would go, it's unlikely we get points there. I watched a bit of Chelsea yesterday. Wow. I'll be disappointed if we don't beat Chelsea there, because they are crap. At the moment, they are all over the place, like properly all over the place. But we could go and get something there. You look around, Luton. We can't be fearing going to Luton.
No.
Can't. I know it'll be tough on the physical and they beat us, but it's still a game that Everton could easily go and grind the results out against.
No, and, we are still a better team than Luton. I know they beat us twice, I do take that, but I was going to say the league table doesn't lie at the moment. It obviously does. But if you just look at points accumulated this season, we have more than Luton for a reason. I think the strengths they have over us is they have better squad depth, just in terms of not quality as such, but quality relevant to what they've got in their first 11. If a player goes out for them, they have players of similar ability who can come in as well. I think the players on our bench might be better, some of them, but not always necessarily the same quality as the starting 11 or fit the starting 11 as well. Dan Juma isn't a terrible player, doesn't necessarily suit the starting 11. Luton's squad is being built to suit the way they play by that manager.
He's done a great job, to be fair.
He's done a brilliant job. Luton have overachieved, and they are the ones who alongside us look the best candidates to avoid relegation at the moment. And a big factor for us is going to be this points deduction, and people will say as well, look, we need to stop thinking about, but with the points back, with these points back, because there's no guarantees, and they're right. But what it comes down to is just realising the quality of this team, and the quality of this team is 10 points better off than the league table currently shows, which puts us above all these teams we're currently competing with, going, are we better than these? So factually, we are better than these teams on current form accumulated over the season. So that's why, we keep mentioning the points deduction, and we don't forget that. And there is the hope that maybe we'll get some back. Super Silk was at the game on the weekend, wasn't he?
Moonwalking down Goodison Road, I believe.
Would he have been invited to a game if the club thought he hadn't performed well in his duties, working over the appeal? I don't know. It probably was just a courtesy agreement with him. It's like, bring you to a game. And that I don't think it necessarily gives us the verdict of the appeal in being there and looking happy. I think it just shows that the club aren't disappointed with what he's done for us so far.
Yeah, absolutely. Michael is not having Everton better than Luton. Why haven't we beat them then? So Luton better than Newcastle? Just out of interest, because Luton have took 4 points off Newcastle and scored 7 goals against them and conceded 4. But Newcastle are going for Europe.
You can be better than someone on a single day and, be a better matchup for them on that day. But overall, the league table, and if one team's got significantly more points than the other, they are a better team. The other team that beat you, maybe they had a good day, maybe they're just a bad matchup for you stylistically. But overall, Man City could win this league. They've lost to teams that are objectively worse than them this season. If
Wolves go and win at the Etihad, does that make Wolves better than City?
No, it just means on the day.
At Molineux.
It means on the day they were better,
it just happens. That literally isn't how you judge whether a team's better than you. It's just not. Your eyes will tell you, and natural ability. But anyway, I've said my piece on that. That's the craziest view I've ever seen, I think. But forgot Michael seems, a lot of people say he's a red, so maybe he's a red. I don't know. Who knows, Michael, if we'll beat them? So if we beat them, does that guarantees Everton are better than them then if we go to Luton and beat them? I don't know. We could have beat Spurs. We should have beat Spurs on Saturday. We are nowhere near a better side than Tottenham Hotspur. We're not a better side than Newcastle, and yet we beat Newcastle 3-0. So
And we've had 2 games against Tottenham where we've outperformed them.
Yeah,
They're
and
still
Spurs are better than ever. That is the craziest view, in my opinion, but everyone's entitled to their own opinion.
But, you know, if we're performing better than Spurs, that doesn't make us a better team per se. It means stylistically we can do things that Spurs maybe struggle with. Overall, they're a better team.
Well, let's see if Luton, when we play Luton, let's see if they haven't got Ross Barkley, who is the key to the work. So a lot of people, when I mentioned getting him in the summer, didn't want him. Finished, he's this, he's that, and yet he's absolutely what Everton need. Look at Villa. We beat Aston Villa in the cup. We played them at Goodison the other week, and Dom should have scored, and we might have beat them then. They are miles better than us. So there you go. Dead-Eye Donny on the super chat. Nice one. Did you notice I cleaned? For all your super chats, Ned left it. I cleaned it after the other day.
What did you clean?
Says it. Well, Ned was supposed to have took the sticky white stuff off the thing, you know, where you've stuck like a sticker on.
Yeah.
And he's just like done a bit of it, and he left it, the ends, right? And Donny paid like 50 quid super chats for Ned to clean, and Ned just went, yeah, I've done it. So I've done it the other day. Albeit I've just noticed there's a piece here.
Yeah.
Which I will do.
Just cover that.
No, well, I'll do that, because I didn't realise it. He says it's hilarious. It was good comedy, the special this morning. Referees, the ref watch on Sky Sports.
Why? What were they saying?
Just everything they say, isn't it? Everything they say is comedic.
It's always a load of rubbish.
It's like the Beto thing, the skeleton. As always, I mean, you could get a sawn-off shotgun and shoot someone's legs off if he had an Everton kit on, and he'd say it wasn't a penalty.
I mean, he was saying that Robinson won against Fulham wearing a penalty as well.
Yeah, he said the fella's an idiot, let's be honest.
He's there to defend us,
But he's there, that's all he's there. He's there to just say they get everything right. He's a clown.
And, you know, it's there so, you know, Sky Sports can fill their quotes of going, oh, look, we're doing referee analysis, and then we've got a former pro in giving us the lowdown and the rules, and half the time he doesn't know the rules, and really, you know, he's mates of all these lads who, you know, ref every week, and that's fair enough. He's not going to dig them out on telly, but okay, the show doesn't work then.
No, it is embarrassing.
But, you know, I think there's been a lot of comical takes around refereeing over the weekend. You know, we're seeing Ange for Tottenham had a little bit of a go in that, saying a lot went our way. I'm not sure what specifically did. I don't know what game he was watching. I'm not sure what game Ange was watching. Klopp as well, about the Konate sending off as well. It's like the only injustice around that, and look, I hate to make this about Everton, but the only injustice around that is that he wasn't sent off for the exact same thing.
Well, there should be a second sending off of the season. It was a booking. Wasn't it? It wasn't a straight red, and it wasn't given as a straight red, was it? It was a second booking.
There was the first on Havertz pulling him, and that's the one Klopp contested. He didn't contest the second one, but
he was saying the first one.
He said because Havertz was pulling as well, but he's trying to run away from him. There's too much when it comes to, you know, both players pulling. There's too much of the commentary around that is always, oh well, they're both doing it. When a lot of the time they're trying to gain a bit of leverage and push off.
I seen Billing protesting his innocence yesterday for his second one when he got sent off against Forest, and the lad's running away from him. He just kicks him from behind. It's like, mate, what are you protesting? You're on a booking. He's left you. You've just kicked him. What are you protesting?
I think it just comes natural for footballers, doesn't it, to go, no, ref, no, but like on the rare occasion you'll see, like, you know, if they commit a tactical foul and, you know, it's a second yellow, but they have to do it, and they just go, yeah, fair enough, I did it.
You just go like that.
Yeah, you know what, fair enough.
I was just like, oh, mate, you literally booted him as he was running away from you.
But I find it quite refreshing when I know, like, they'll appeal for anything they think they've got a chance of getting, but if a player knows he's getting sent off and should be sent off, I quite like it if you go, yeah, I did it, and I'll do it again.
All right, Jack. Make sure you hit the like button, subscribe as well. Thank you very much. We are over the 80. Road to 100k, Jack.
Yeah.
Less than 16,000, I'll to 100k.
100k 2024.
Impressive.
This is the year.
This is the year that you have to do your bit. You have to do your bit.
If you subscribe to Toffee TV, we'll get 10 points back. I can't legally guarantee that, but I'm putting it out there.
It feels like you're willing that to happen, and that's fine.
I'm manifesting it.
And you're manifesting it. There you go. John Vance says the skeleton should be shown incidents where he doesn't know the teams involved. His perspective may have some value. Yeah, I agree, John. Absolutely. Just sees it us and goes, yeah. Royal Blue says, when Barkley was brought up in the summer when he was available, letting it be known he wants to come home, the conversation surrounding it was rather toxic. Yeah, but that's just Evertonians. Instead of looking and going, what do we actually need, though? People were getting a cob on because it was Ross Barkley. And there's a lot of stuff went on with Ross Barkley. The big Dutch fella who was our manager created so much chaos over Ross Barkley. It was untrue. Don't forget, listen, he did what he did. And I'm not defending him, but there was a time when he was ready to sign his contract and Koeman withdrew it. So when he scored against Bournemouth and he went and stood on the street end like that with the badge, he was ready to sign his deal that next week. And Koeman put a spanner in the works again in the next week. So there's a lot that went on. He moonwalks into our midfield. Him in our midfield now is exactly what Everton need, and especially with the Corey out. Come to Goodison the other week, he was head and shoulders above everybody on the pitch. Everybody. Left foot, right foot, slows the game down. His decision making at times isn't perfect, but bloody hell, we've got a whole team with that trait, so it wouldn't make any difference. He was free in the summer, and he's on, 30 grand a week at Luton or something. And hell, he'd be on be the lowest paid player at Everton if he come in then. It would have just been absolutely perfect for us.
I'll hold my hands up with Barkley. I wasn't convinced about having him back. I'd have took him because, we didn't have the numbers and that, but I didn't believe the idea of he starts week in, week out for us, because I don't think he'd shown, from what I'd seen of him, I don't think he'd shown the level he's showing at Luton for a while, not since the start of when he was at Villa. He played a fair bit in France, didn't he?
Yeah, but you didn't watch a lot of French games.
I didn't watch a lot of it. What I've seen, I didn't particularly. And the goals weren't coming.
I looked at him and could tell he walks into Anfield because
him in the team.
He's big. He can run. He can control a football. He can strike a football. So straight away, he's already 90% better than what plays in Everton's midfield anyway. Because the others are like James Garner's is a cracking workhorse for a player. Dead busy, gets on the ball. He's not Ross Barkley. He can't beat a man. Can't drive forward. Idrissa Gana Gueye, who some couple of people last week were telling me in the why you made up. He's back on Saturday. Saturday showed because he's head and shoulders above every midfielder we've got, and he proved it on Saturday. He's unbelievable.
Well, he was great at the weekend.
He was unbelievable.
McNeil was poo against Fulham, which out of position. Like, fair enough, it's not necessarily his fault, but if he's the next best.
I thought McNeil done all right against Fulham, but he's not that.
He was poor.
He's not that, is he? He's not. We saw it the weekend. Some of our fans are crazy with how they view Idrissa Gana Gueye.
But it's the same with Onana as well, because people will be saying if you say the same about Onana, I'm glad he's back. You'll get people again going, why is this? He's that, and yeah, he has problems with him. But what's our next option after that? We've got 2 fit midfielders at the moment, and same with Gomez.
What do you make of this? James Garner has carried the team. And he doesn't get enough credit.
I think he maybe gets a little bit more credit than he deserves. I think he's a good player.
I like James. I really like James Garner, but he's just a busy midfielder. There's no problem with that. There's absolutely a place for that in Everton's side, and him and the Idrissa on Saturday were excellent. No problem with that at all. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is Ross Barkley is totally different to every other midfield player we've got. Like, totally different. And he's got a skill set none of our midfielders have, which is he can get the ball and just go. And he can hit 50-yard passes and he can shoot with both feet. Now, what Ross Barkley doesn't always do when he gets into those areas, just play a nice little simple one. Because sometimes he just either doesn't see it or whatever. I don't know. But I think if you would have plunked him into the midfield with Onana, James Garner, Idrissa Gana Gueye, I think you'd have had a nice mix of midfielders. And then obviously when Decore comes out, Ross can play there as well. He was free and he was 30 grand a week or something. That, to me, in Everton's current predicament, was a no-brainer. If Everton had a big sacks of money and could do whatever, then yeah, it'd be a different conversation. You go, well, let's do something different. I get it. And we haven't done it, so it's irrelevant. But that's the type of midfielder we need to be getting next. We've got enough of the busy go and win it back for us. We now need the next one who will get on the ball and pick his head up a little bit. Might be able to have a shot. Look at Maddison for them. He didn't do much at the weekend. Everton had him tied down, really. He didn't hardly do a thing. But the couple of things he did do was he had an assist for the Charlton
He set up
goal.
a Charlton just because he sorted his feet out quick
Him,
and just played the pass quickly.
And then the other one in the second half, when he flicked it up and volleyed it with his left foot, and the Pickford's made a good save from those little moments. And you look at him and go, we can't give him that space to get on the ball. There's nobody in Everton's midfield who the opposition probably would go, we can't give him.
There's no one
space.
with a killer final ball, is there?
Or even a killer shot, Jack.
No.
There's nobody.
You know, Decore's good finisher from inside the box, but he's not going to kill one from 20 yards, is he? And, you know, what you've just said about Barkley, with, you know, he's got that in his locker. You know, James Garner's someone who, okay, maybe his decision-making's a bit more consistent, but don't know if he has that, you know, killer pass between the lines, put it in between the full-back and the centre-back and just slide someone in from 20 yards away. I don't know if he's got that pass in his locker consistently, you know, consistent decision making, hard worker. I think he's technically sound of his touch, and you know, his passes are decent. He doesn't attempt anything he's not capable of. I think he's a good, solid player. I think someone like Barkley, and again, you know, I was wrong about Barkley at the start of the season, but looking at him now, he's someone who could bring, you know, bigger highs to the midfield in terms of what he can do in the final third.
Well, what you want, right? The thing about what you want with when you're building a squad is you haven't got all of that money to just select whatever you want. Is you want to put them all in to a mix and be able to use each one. And then if Ross Barkley's in your team 2 weeks on the run and then he just dips a little bit and he goes to the bench, someone comes in, then if you're bringing Ross on or you're taking Ross off and putting, I don't know, say you were putting James Garner on, or say you were putting Idrissa Gana-Gueye on, or say you were putting Decore on because Ross is playing, then there's no level, there's no drop-off. Whereas for too long, our subs are like, what's he going to do here? Because there is a drop. Now, some of them there isn't, and that's why the manager keeps it type 14. But we don't have enough variation. And I just think, for me, he was someone who had a lot of variation. Yeah, and he was free. So to me, that was one we should have absolutely got. And I believe there's all sorts of rumours, isn't it, that he's free in the summer and this, that. And I guess if Luton went down, listen, you wouldn't say they're going to go down this season. But if Luton went down, then that might be an easier deal to do. But again, I can't stress enough, for me, he'd only be coming into the squad. He'd just be coming in to try and force his way into the team.
Yeah,
that's all he'd be. You can't ask him defensively to do it because he is a little bit, he does switch off or whatever. So you do have to have that person behind him as the insurance.
We do have players who can do that. You know, I think we have 3 midfielders who are very capable of that, and you can put Decore there as well. So, you know, he's definitely not a luxury player, but he's, you know, a more attacking midfielder than we've got, obviously excluding Decore, but he does work very hard off the ball. So yeah, it's just another option, you know, we said about when it comes to set pieces and just in every scenario really, we just need someone who can give us another option.
Yeah.
Someone like Barkley is just that another option, not a guaranteed starter every week.
No, that's right, yeah.
In current form, if he was, you know, showing the form he's showing for Luton for us, he would be starting.
Yeah. Yeah. So now we just got to go with exactly what we've got, don't we, and make it work. And that works when we get our players back. You know, don't forget Saturday we're playing an excellent side. We didn't have Abdoulaye Decore. We didn't have Amadou Onana, who 2 starters for us.
And Gomez, who did well against Tottenham.
Andre Gomez, even just as an option on the bench, we didn't have. So Spurs had a few out as well, but they are starting to get their better players back. And when you look at them, probably Son is probably the one, other than who they had, who you'd go, well, he gets in their team. You're looking around going, there is other ones who might get in, of course, but they did have a good side and had good subs to bring on as well. You know, when they're bringing Kulusevski on and Papa Sarr on, you know, people like that, you look at the difference. And therefore, that's why Everton did well, stuck at it, carried it on, and ended up getting a decent points out of it in the end. And yeah, listen, we won 3 points. I said it on the aftermatch stuff. We've won 3 games of football at home, and it's February. So that's absolutely outrageous. Now we've got to start winning them home games.
Yeah, we do, but it's like we said at the start, we're not going to be able to win every home game, especially against, you know, better sides than us. I think our 2 home games have been against teams you probably would consider better than us, in Villa and Tottenham, in the last few weeks. So, we'll take a point in those games in the good faith. The wins are going to start coming against teams we're more equal against the likes of Palace in a couple of weeks' time, and then when we do go to Luton as well, hopefully the wins will come against teams we're more on a level with. Teams that are better than us, you'll take a point if you know that's coming, or you can believe that's coming in the future.
Yeah, definitely. Billings was a straight red, wasn't it? Sorry, I was saying the second yellow was a straight red, but he's booted him, and that to me it is a red card. You just do, because he couldn't have argued he tried to play the ball because he didn't, so therefore send him off, because that's ungentlemanly conduct, if you like, or dangerous play, but he's booted him without going for the ball, so yeah. Gary says hello. David says, morning gents, great effort from the boys this week. Garner was exceptional. He was. Would you risk going on against City or keep him for the next block of games? Him and Decore, what would you do?
I wouldn't risk them, to be honest. I know it's a little bit defeatist mentality, but I think even with them in the team, we don't stand a brilliant chance against City just because they're at the business point of their season. Now, this is the point of the season where they flip that switch and they go on a run and they win 10 straight, and we're going to end up being just a number in the middle of that. Obviously, we'll give it a go. I'm not trying to write it off before it's done. I'm just trying to be realistic about it. I'd much rather have the bodies fit for Crystal Palace, because that is a massive game. It's a winnable game. And, God forbid we bring Decore in for City. He gets injured. We don't win anyway. And then he misses Palace. And then that's, our best player this year. Yeah. Missing for, a massive proper 6-pointer.
Probably the best. But Decore's certainly up there. Yeah.
Best goal scorer.
Best goal scorer, yeah. No, yeah, it is. It is a horrible thing to be in. But then
if we play City and it's 1-1 and Decore scores, Onana sets it up, a bit silly.
No, but that's it, isn't it? I hate it. I hate the fact that some games you go, well, if he's not fit for this one, it doesn't matter, because every game you should be going to win. Every game.
You do only play 38 in a season, don't you?
You do have to look and go, what is more right now? What is more important?
If they're absolutely 100%, I'd play them. If they're anything off that, I just wouldn't bother. If there's any substantial risk that they might pick up another knock or it slows down their recovery, I wouldn't play them. It's just not worth it. The potential risk is just greater than the potential rewards, because even with them in the team, can you confidently say we'll get a point from City?
No.
But then do they play, and then do we get
the only way we get a point is like last season. Last season I think they ended with, I think it was 16 attempts at goal to 2. Damari Gray scored a cracker, and then if you remember from it, about 2 minutes later we had another shot which Ederson had to tip wide, and we got a call, and we had like 2 shots in 3 minutes or something there. He scored 2 goals. That's the kind of only way. We'd need to do almost a Maidstone at Ipswich the other week, where Ipswich had 38 attempts at goal, Maidstone had 2 and won 2-1. You'd have to have that kind of performance, because we simply don't have the players. We don't have the players to do it, and that's what King Hoddle says. You deserve the points against us due to the endeavour and work rate, but I personally couldn't watch that brand of Neanderthal football all season.
It's not always the greatest watch. Sometimes we are actually...
The first half on Saturday, Everton were the better side. I thought Spurs were really average in the first half. Didn't really play much football. They didn't have any attempts at goal other than, it sounds stupid, they just put the ball in the net twice, but it wasn't like we were hanging on. Second half, Spurs were way better. And Spurs are a good side, but all I'll say is I watched Tottenham come to Goodison with Jose Mourinho, and they were horrific. They were literally Bolton from the 90s. Maybe Long and Kane had just get them out of trouble. Yeah. So things change, don't they? And that was with good players, by the way.
Maybe it's on the basis that we didn't really have much going for us outside the set pieces. Which, I do take that.
But we can't take Decore and Onana out of our team and compete with the team like Spurs anyway.
Yeah, but we just have to do what we're good at. At the moment, if we were, a team at Tottenham's quality and Tottenham's budget, then, we could speak about aesthetics a bit more and all of that. But at the moment, we've just got to knuckle down and go, what works for us?
Don't get me wrong, mate.
Let's use this.
I don't sit there and go, I love watching us, because I don't. I do think we're crap. I think we're so basic. going forward, it's poor. And I think that comes down to the players we've got and the management. How you can't get your fullbacks in behind to put crosses in, it just blows my mind. It really does. But we are where we are right now. We've been kicked everywhere for the last few years. The Premier League rules are an embarrassment. And Everton have had to chop while we build the stadium. And we should have really done what Spurs did, which is just borrowed the money to build the stadium. And then we wouldn't be in any kind of PSR trouble. We'd have probably had better players because we'd have been able to keep them and improve the squad. When you cut, and you're left with nothing and the league's hammering you, and you've had, don't forget, Everton should be on 29 points now. A few points off Euro. Would we be playing more expansive football? Probably not, because Sean Dyche is very much a compact manager. That's the way he is. But right now, like Jack just said, we're in a huge fight, so we've just got to battle and scrap for everything. And when you take a couple of our players out, and don't forget we didn't have like Dan Juma to bring on, and we didn't have Andre Gomez, like Jack said. 4 players who have all been playing in our first team, taking them away. We've only just got Ashley Young back, who's 38, 39. He's in the team. Seamus Coleman come back in midweek and he's on the bench and comes on. You'd have to look at that and go, to be fair, yeah. We are down to bare bones, like literally bare bones. So to scrap and get a point against the team that I think are a really good side. But what I would say is, without Van der Ven in that defence,
he's quality.
That is why Spurs won't win anything with Ange unless he replaces a couple of other players in, because the one ball that you clean through every time, it's just that he's amazing, wasn't he?
Yeah,
Van der Ven was
facilitates
unbelievable.
them to play with such a high line.
Unbelievable, mate.
He's rapid.
It's like a freaking sprinter, but he's actually good
as well. And you've got Romero with his defensive actions. He's good, but he does get caught out. Doesn't have the pace to catch back up as well.
He looks dodgy.
He's a bit of a live wire at times as well, isn't he? But
Udoji was good though, like him.
Yeah,
good player, very very good player. They've got some lovely footballers, haven't they? They're a couple of short maybe of kicking up, and one of them would be another centre half to have with Pele at the back there.
Yeah, and they've got Dragonson, who
if he might come once he settles and he's alongside them, they will look different again. Of course they will, and they've got great forward players as well, haven't they?
If we had the same quality of player at Tottenham, we'd be looking at this team going, okay, are we really playing the best way to get the most out of all these players? No, but we don't have that type of player. We've got workers, and we've got athletes, and we've got a few old heads who've got a bit of experience and that as well. And it's about just making the most out of that.
Yeah, listen. I get your point, and is this the way we choose Everton to play? No, of course it isn't. No one can say they love watching Everton right now, but we do play better football when we've got all of our players. It's not the way we played down at Tottenham, though. We passed Tottenham off the pitch down there, and that was when we had. We had Onana and Andre Gomez in it, and we played some cracking. And that day, Everton should have won the game, and Ange conceded that afterwards, didn't he? But there you go. You've got good players and an attacking manager.
Led us one.
Yeah, we're struggling to get 11 out there. Steve said, I said on here last week how much we've missed Ghana, and we're a much better side with him, and proved yet again how important he is. I don't know what some people are watching if they can't see that. I don't see how he can come out of that team. If he's going to stick with Harrison in the 10, then it's between Garner and Onana, who drops to the bench, as in James Garner. He makes both of them better. Although personally, I played the 3 of them till Decore is back. He's easily the most underappreciated player we've had in the last 10 years, and still one of our best players at 30 foot. Yeah,
what
I've seen there's a thing, wasn't there? There was a stat yesterday. I'm going to let me find it.
But you know what it is? It's people can't look past his shots from outside the box. And I know it's frustrating because, the quality's not always there. But you need to be able to look past that and look at his actual job in the midfield. And, the job he did at the weekend speaks for that. Even at his age, he's still such a workhorse. He's good in the tackle as well. And, he will get the ball moving again quickly. Okay, he doesn't always turn and play it like we'd like him to, but he gets the ball out his feet quickly.
Adrisha Garner Gay won the most possessions, the most duels, the most tackles, the most interceptions. He won the ball the most times in the final third. It was the first time a player has achieved these numbers in the Premier League since Idrissa Gana Gueye in February 2018. So, yeah, he's by far, he was by head and shoulders above anyone on the pitch at the weekend for those kind of numbers. And again, like we've said, everybody sees the game differently and all that, but I don't know how people can't see when you watch how important he is. He's the fella that goes and puts everything out. Now, his shooting's diabolical. The one when he nicked it, and he should have just played Dom in, and he drags a shot wide and he got a corner for it, and I think that might have been generous. I haven't seen it again. Did he kick it out? Okay, I haven't seen it again, thinking of it live in the game, right? But he should have passed it. He should have passed it, right? But that's it. If you're looking at him going, because he can't shoot, he's crap. I don't know what to tell you.
No, and sometimes he's been miscast at Everton as well, because sometimes he'll play a little bit deeper than necessarily suits him. He's great in that role, being able to go and press, put out fires all over the pitch, not be, that number 6 role, destroyer type. No. That's Onana in our team.
It is, yeah.
And then you can put Garner next to him, and okay, it's a it's defensive midfield pairing, but you'll win the ball back so much with them two on the pitch together. If you want someone to get on the ball a bit more, then you've got Jimmy Garner as well, who's going to get on the ball a little bit more. But definitely, yeah, with Gueye, he's just. I just have a lot of appreciation for him because he is an unsung hero. Even in his prime, at his best, it was only Evertonians who'd give him that credit. Really, he was doing the same job Kante was doing for Leicester and for Chelsea, not quite to the same standard. No, because Kante was one of the leader midfielders. He
did outperform Kante, didn't he, in a couple of seasons as well? But
he was doing that same job that he was being lauded for, and he wasn't really getting his flowers for that.
Bill says mini league 1 out of 4 or 5. We're in there. Yeah. Agree with that. Sarah, Blues fan, says, would it be worth saving Decore for future games and not play him on Saturday? Don't want to be defeatist, but a result at Man City away is a stretch. Make sure he's fully fit to the following games. Look at what happened to Olise for Crystal Palace. Yeah, definitely. You're right. You look at it and you go, it's a bit of a stretch and it's a bit defeatist, like you say, to go, well, we don't need him for this one. Like Jack said, if he's fully fit, then yeah, but I would prefer him to come in and give us that edge against Palace at home, get us those 3 points that we need desperately. Kieran says, hi guys, just got tickets from me and my dad for the West Ham game in UB6 row R. Just wanted to know how restricted the view is going to be. So it's over. So you're at the Gladys Street end in that corner, UB6. S is the back row, so you're second to back row. So it just depends where there will be posts in view. Absolutely, there will be, because it's in that stand. But you might be all right.
It depends on your angle, doesn't it? I've had some quite good views from that section. So.
Yeah, just depends, mate. Van der Ven said on Match of the Day we didn't deserve a point. He's a clown, says Rob. Yeah, he's just sour grapes, isn't it? Dead-Eye Donny says, genuinely, how serious do they take him on Ref Watch Gallagher? Do they put him on to cause controversy? Even his co-workers raise eyebrows when he speaks. Yeah, I love it when Warnock's on with him a lot, and he just starts laughing. He just literally bursts out laughing in his face. If I was Gallagher, I wouldn't go on it, because he just looks like an absolute swunt every week.
Well, that's the thing. He goes on, and everyone who watches it disagrees with him. And yeah,
you're getting paid a big fat wedge to stand there with your little glasses on, trying to look intelligent.
But I just think, money. But what's the point for him? What's the point for Sky? Because they don't.
But why don't? If you're him, though, why can't he turn around and go, "Ref got it wrong. That's a penalty." That's a big. I know, but fuck them. He's not anymore, are he? He's retired.
No, but he still knows them all, doesn't he?
I'd love it. I'd be on there going, yeah, that's a disgrace. He's got that one wrong. Because then people will start going, hey. Because people would start taking his word more seriously then. If he's there today and went, that was a penalty on Beto, and using that one because people have said that's been reviewed. I'm sure there's others that he's looked at. And went, yeah, it's a penalty. Don't know why the ref hasn't given it. That's definitely a penalty for me. Evertonians then go, all right, he's seen that. And then if he goes whatever, then in a few weeks, if there's one word contentious and he goes, not for me because of this, people then start going, okay. Then if the next one he goes, yeah, that should have been. People then start thinking, well, all right, he's starting to. But when it's just no. And everyone they've asked him about Everton, he's never ever said, even though I know Howard Webber's had a conversation with someone, a meeting, and said Everton should have had something like 7 penalties this season, and they were all mistakes.
4 up.
We're getting something from Ped. We're going over
No,
to
do you want to hear the worst refereeing decisions of the weekend?
Go on.
So Everton women played yesterday. They got had off basically by some terrible decisions. But this has got to be the worst one. So Brian Sorensen, the manager, got sent off for 2 bookable offences. The first one was the 4th official put the sub number in wrong, and then they were forced to make the sub because the 4th official got it wrong. So they forced them to make the sub.
You can
right?
Go on,
So he got booked for complaining because they forced them, and then he was shouting over to the players because he had to change all the instructions because he'd put a different player on. It was all like benching and edges kind of thing, and the referee came over and booked him again for shouting to his own players for making the changes and sent him off.
I mean, that's just a standard,
that's where we are. That's just where we are with football all over the place. I keep on reiterating, it's not VAR. It is terrible, terrible officials. And what you've just said, like about, I don't think they are protecting their mates. I think they're genuinely bad. Yeah. Like genuinely, they just have this self-entitlement that they think that's just the way it is. And no, you're wrong, we're right. And that's the end of it. We see it in every single game.
I was talking.
I don't think they are protecting themselves.
The
I
reason
just think
it goes to that, though, is what Mike Dean said, what he's openly admitted to, and, has been forgotten, where he said he didn't make a decision because his mate had got it wrong.
Yeah.
That's what stuck with me. And, maybe that's more isolated, but just in terms of what referees have admitted to, is very little, so that's what I go off personally. But I just think there's not enough appetite as there should be for change when it comes to referees in England, because people operate on the mentality that everyone's unhappy and everyone thinks it's against them, so it's evening out. It's like, no, everyone pretty much is getting stinkers every season, multiple of them. That's not evening it out. That's just the standards below the ground, like the bar is on the floor. That's not even out, but you want it to even out with quality. Everyone overall gets the right decisions. Obviously, there'll be mistakes in there to a degree, but you want the standard to be high.
A genuine referee, as in just making an honest assessment of a game of football, won't get everything right. Of course they won't. Their angle mightn't be perfect, or they might see it slightly differently. So you have to accept that.
And there's always 50-50 scenarios.
And he's the enemy. Say it all the time. He's the enemy to 50% of the people all the time, isn't he? Because whatever he gives, unless it's like blatant, you just punch someone in the face and everyone can see it and you go, can't really argue there.
Oh, some people still would.
No, some people would, but in general, normal, sensible, level-headed people will go, yeah, we've got no argument there, right? He's going to be wrong to one set of fans. We get that, right? But there is decisions that are made where you look and go, like, what? Like on Saturday, just picking like something that it doesn't, it's not a game-changing decision. But Everton got a free kick below me. Player just booted the ball away. And Michael Oliver knew he'd have to book him, so he turned his back and was like bringing a sub on. The lad kicked the ball away, which is a standard yellow card. Yeah. It's a standard yellow card. And he kicked the ball away. And he turned his back so he wouldn't have to make a decision. Right? And that's just a little basic thing. It doesn't really mean anything. But it's just just one little snapshot of what goes on. Right? Van der Ven and Romero must have told the linesman to fuck off about 15 times through the arm. Right? Ben Godfrey done it once. He was like that. He couldn't wait. He was nearly falling over trying to get his yellow card out of his pocket, the little prick.
Just because he appealed for the corner.
Because he wanted the corner. He couldn't wait. And then you can't tell me, every time we have him, he's the same. He's a Geordie. And you've seen him out with his Newcastle shirt on with all his mates. They created some faux rivalry with Everton on bleeding Twitter years ago that spilled over, and cos of Pickford and all that. Now, they hate us, right? Not all of them, obviously, but there's a set, and his mates are in there with that. You're telling me that you'd never influenced them? Of course, because I can honestly say, if I was a referee supporting Everton, the way they behave, they wouldn't get a tap from me. Every time I went up there, I'd think, right, any 50-50, you're getting that off. And I think that's exactly how he treats it.
But even if you try to avoid it subconsciously, it's going to affect
bias.
it to some degree, isn't it?
You've got unconscious bias, and that's what happens. And there'll be, I'm not just talking about Everton, there will be tons of referees who have got unconscious bias for and against teams in the Premier League, which is why we're seeing dreadful decisions.
Well, it's like I said this a few weeks ago as well. There'll be referees who, you've gotten to certain grounds and they've been abused in those grounds before. And, like at the end in Goodison, I've heard some like horrible stuff said to refs and that. It does happen.
2:15 for that.
There'll be referees who just, again, subconsciously remember that and go.
Why wouldn't you? If you've been
stood,
if you're coming out to referee a game at Goodison, and they announced the referee is Jack, and everyone boos before you've even done anything, right? And then you have a game and they're booing you as you're walking off at half time, the boos are ringing in their ears for you. And at the end, next time you come to Goodison, you might just be thinking, I hate it.
You know what? These are horrible to me.
I hate it here. Even if you're trying to go, but, I love the fact that people go, no, they're well balanced. They don't make that decision like that. These are professional. Piss off the human beings. They are human, no matter what. No matter what you say, they are human beings. And if you give someone awful stick at a game, and next time he comes back, expect them to be a knobhead again, because he was last time, and you've abused him. And that happens, and it happens up and down the country, which is why you see clubs like certain football clubs not too far away from here taking reps with them on pre-season tours and giving them shirts, Mark Clattenburg, and looking after them and putting them in first class, Mark Clattenburg, and things like that, so that when they play in a game, Mark Clattenburg, where they're refereeing, they get.
I know what, he's a nice lad, that.
Exactly.
That
He's a great team. Great team. Not like that. And lots of teams do it. I wish Everton would do it, to be honest.
You've got to get the advantages you can, haven't you? But at the end of the day, with these referees, they are people with, best unconscious biases. There are also people with big egos, and there are also people who have deficiencies in their knowledge. So it's
and
a bad cocktail.
most of them probably couldn't kick a football from the edge of the penalty area at the goal. Michael Oliver couldn't. Michael Oliver can't kick a football from the edge of the box into the goal. Telling you that now.
Muppets as well. You've got to factor in.
That's what I mean. So therefore, what I'm saying with that is, you're right. It's more likely to be unconscious bias than I am not giving them anything.
But even best case scenario,
mine would be full conscious bias, just full disclosure.
Yeah, I'd be taking points off all
Newcastle and everyone, who give us stick. But my big thing would be with when you're trying to review all that and look at all that, is that they have a thing called video assistant refereeing, which means they get all of the technology, which means they've got all of that at their fingertips to go, I'm going to assure I don't make a mistake here, because me mate Jack will have a look for me and tell me, and we're still getting the wrong decisions. I'm talking about necessarily about Everton at the weekend,
just
but
in general.
Can I bring Ped in very quick? We'll do this properly on the final word, but let me just ask you this, mate, right? Because when Branthwaite headed it in, I knew for a fact within 1 second it'd come off Romero's head,
we all did.
We all did. Yeah. Why were they drawing lines? Why did it take so long to give the goal? And I also knew 40 seconds before Michael Oliver pointed to the halfway line that it was a goal. That it was a goal, because I could see the monitor in front of me that said onside goal. And and I was thinking, they've got it here. It's in front. It's there. VAR. Onside, and I'm thinking, why hasn't he blew the whistle? So I agree. We were all jumping up, trying to get the ground to do it, so you'd know. Like, what was going on there?
I don't know. I had a little rant about this in my aftermatch. The first one, the goalie, his antics, trying to make it out like it wasn't a goal.
Yeah.
And I know, to be fair, we did sort of do something similar last week against Luton, so I appreciate that. But
I don't mind them.
It's becoming a bit of a sport now, isn't it? This whole thing. It's becoming a bit of a It's
become the ball back.
Yeah, it's becoming a whole thing. And I just think, see, to me, when that goal goes in, right? When that goal goes in, why not just check it? But just check it. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, why does it need? I know people go, you need to keep the people informed in the stadium, but why not? Why not just say anything? Because you just straight away, and this is where I am with it straight away now. They've took the spontaneity out of scoring goals. And I know I've seen people on Twitter and stuff sort of go, and some of them are in response to my tweet, side tweets they've done. going, oh, if you don't celebrate the goal, that's on you and blah, blah, blah. But I think a lot of us now with the match are doing that. I think a lot of us now are preempting it. When a goal goes in, we're almost looking around thinking, what are they going to find? And both goals, they did try. Because we score a lot of our goals from set pieces, by the way.
They're looking, aren't they?
It's like there's always that jeopardy, isn't there? But when that went in, I celebrated. But then you're looking, goalie's on the floor. Has there been an offside? Did it? I mean, I knew it'd come off a Spurs head, and everyone did. But you're like, well, why? What are they looking for? That like makes it even. What are they looking for? Has there been a push? Was there something? And you are losing that spontaneity now. And I know people go, oh, you get to celebrate twice. I don't want to celebrate twice. I want to celebrate once. I want to celebrate that it's a goal and have that spontaneity. So almost this thing of putting it on the board, VAR check, it's like they check every goal. So why is this one in more, why are you having more detail than
that's what I mean.
It's just like we're losing something with our game. We've lost that balance. We've lost that balance of the whole, like, just check it, but you don't unless it drags on. If it starts, if you don't go straight to the thing, and kick off, then I understand. But there's too much now. It's just we've just lost something in the game.
Yeah,
this checking it.
You say about not celebrating and that, and I did celebrate the goals at the weekend, but on both occasions, in my mind, as soon as I stood up, was, are they going to find something here? In real time, watching it, you don't see a foul, but just because when there's a mess of bodies, they're going to look for something. In that, there's players on the floor, the keeper's rolling around, they're going to look for something, and it's on your mind, even if, and yet the Romero one we all seen in real time, it came off him. But then when they're looking at it for so long, and because the commentators don't always communicate it greatly what they're looking for, you go, what are they actually looking for here?
If anyone wants to see what football looks like without VAR, in a way, go over to our Twitter and have a look at the 2 penalties Everton women conceded yesterday. And tell me what you'd rather have. I mean, we just need better officials. It's as simple as that. We need better officials, whether they're on the pitch or whether in the VAR room. 2 penalties Everton women get yesterday are shocking.
There's one against,
absolutely shocking.
Was it City in the Champions League, the women, or was it Real Madrid? One of them where they just give a penalty that was about 3 foot outside the box, and you just give a pen.
One of them, the girl kicks the ball away. And as she kicks the ball away, the City player comes across. So her foot goes down on her foot and they give a penalty for it.
It is all a bit mad. And how long they take for is just terrifying. It's just ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. Jonathan says Barkley or O'Hare, both free agents in the summer. Which one would you go for? Probably Ross, to be honest. I know O'Hare looks like he's done well for Coventry. He's younger, the younger version, isn't he? But out the 2, I'd like both of them, if I'm being perfectly honest. Out the 2, if I had to choose one, I'd probably go with Barkley. Just for the physicality of Ross as well. But why not get both of them, if they're both free?
Oh, that makes too much sense.
Mark says, I think Onana is our best midfielder, but Garner are our best combination.
Yeah, I think you've maybe got a better balance of styles with the double Gs, but I think I do agree with Onana being our best midfield player, but in terms of partnerships. But then it comes to individual games, doesn't it? And what you want from your midfield.
See, sometimes for me, you should play a flat 3 and have the 3 of them in there, even if you're playing someone off the striker. But David says, I wanted Ross in the summer because he's the only player we had a little similar. It was Delhi, though, and his game time, unfortunately, limited. Brian said, I couldn't agree more about Ross Barkley. I shall happily bang the drum for his return. I always suspected there was some skullduggery behind the scenes before he left. Such a shame. There was. Koeman was a shite-talk, to put it nicely. Done the same to whether you like Tom Davies or not. He basically mushroomed Tom Davies for a bit, even though he finished the season playing in his team. Because he got to the sun, he got shiny things, and he was like, go and train over there.
See, I have a slightly different opinion. Ross was also a shite-talk.
No, he was. I'm not defending him.
But time, forgive and forget. Move on. What's best for the football club? What's best for the team?
But I'm talking about who instigated it.
We all know.
Ross done the Ross was a reactionary shite-talk. Both shite-talks, absolutely.
But
in the team of shite-talks, Koeman manages it and Ross is in there. But in terms of instigating the shite-talkery, that was all Koeman.
What's your
chipping away.
expected shite talk today?
What is it? Well, the expected shite-talkiness of Barkley was getting up there, but Koeman out.
He exceeded it.
Oh, Koeman well exceeded the shite.
He had no right, some could say.
No, well, that's what they say.
But yes, forgive and forget, inspirational on
At the end of the day, mate,
morning.
but we're not. We're in a position where we can't be, mate.
Time waits for no man.
No, exactly. Apart from VAR. Sarah says, did you see Seamus when we scored the last minute goal? What did he say to Romero to make him lose his head? Give us an assist. Have we lost Sean Dyche on Saturday with a yellow card? Yeah, Sean Dyche has got to serve a touchline ban at the weekend, hasn't he? That was quality as well. Kulusevski just swipes Thingy down, which is an automatic yellow card. But Michael Oliver sprints to the bench to book Sean Dyche and forgets that. Kulusevski's committed a yellow card offence. Stan says, we got to use the squad against City, rest everyone to free it. Premier League have rinsed our squad. Let's show them how decimated our squad is because of them. Let everyone see the league for what it is. Shite. Fair play. Deadeye Donny said he reviewed the Beto one and his conclusion was...
No penalty.
Well done, Dermot. Consistent. Absolutely consistent. Daniel, who's a Tottenham fan, says, good point for you at the weekend, but I'm really shocked how bad we played into your hands. Yeah, I was a bit surprised, to be honest, because obviously we never beat Spurs anyway, but when it went 1-1, I thought we'll win this, because these are just not doing anything that I expected, and I've seen Spurs play some cracking football, even in the second half, when I think Tottenham were the better side, because they still didn't cut us open like I expected them to. But listen, it is what it is, isn't it? You know, these are a good side, and we've just got to take anything we can get this season right now because we're in the mud. Right, we're going. Oh yeah, Daniel says, last one, Brennan Johnson as well on James Garner, clipped his foot, nothing given. Garner Gay does it to Maddison, free kick, and he was asking the ref to book him. Referees, mate. Players will always ask, it's up to the referee to manage it properly. But... And Joe says, the Spurs game is the 6th time this season that Everton's opposition has committed more fouls and haven't received a single yellow card.
Well, it's double figures in those numbers.
That's
comfortably
good.
Done.
At least, hey, we're consistent with getting shit on, aren't we? There you go. We will be live. Stay here. We'll be live at 2:15 on More Than a Game to discuss, have Arsenal blown the title race wide open? And Mauricio Pochettino, is it time for Chelsea to bring the special one back for a third go at it? We'll be discussing that at 2:15. The link is here. Just get your drink, get yourself a little sandwich, maybe some crackers and cheese if you fancy it.
Ooh.
And do that. Why not on a Monday afternoon? Ooh. We'll see you very shortly on More Than a Game. Hit like and subscribe. See you in a bit. Bye.